I'll record it now. Sorry.
All right. Thank
All right, thanks. Um, so that kind of, yeah, sorry about not recording that. So I'm recording it now. So let me, I'll have to do sort of just review a little bit so that gets into the recording. So what you need to do in order to make a ticket is first we have to have a customer on that ticket. How you can do that is you can create a customer under customer management. You use a little green plus to add a customer. When you do that, it will bring you up a screen like this that you'll have to fill in. Once you've got a customer, or if you don't want to create a customer, you can use any of the agents that are available. And the agents you can find by going into the agents here, and you'll see them all listed. Or if you happen to know somebody else in the class and you know their student number, then you have an agent, because that is the way that all of the agents were created. In which case, then you can go to customer user, and you can just enter in the student number, and that should work for you. Now, actually, I don't know. You might have to create them as a customer. Anyways, uh, yeah, I think you can just do it from here. And so away you can go from there. Now, once you've got them in there, then you're going to go and create a new phone ticket. Suppose I want to put a phone ticket for Aisha, if I can remember her student number, 86202. So I could do that, new phone ticket for Aisha. And so I could put the, well, actually, if she's in there, I should be able to pull it from it's not. Last time I did this, I pulled it from a list. Anyways, that was Aisha, right? Yeah, there she is. There she is, Aisha Ahmed. Because I've already got her in there, right? And her ID comes up. That works fine. Choose a queue. Um, I think we'll use the raw queue. And so then there was something to do with, if you look at the actual assignment that's been put there as your lab in D2L, it was something about maybe a backup that wasn't working. So backup request. It's something, some stuff was lost or something like that. And then you'll say, um, received a phone call from who is it, Aisha, um, requests a backup of some files that were lost on such and such a date. I don't know what's today. Today's the 14th, so let's say on the 10th of Jan 2021. So we would get the backup from like the 9th or something, or whenever the backup was before that. And, maybe there's some attachments, maybe not. We can change different priorities. You got very low, low, normal, high, very high, depending on whatever is required of you there. Um, the time we can set if we need to, some time on that. And we will, by default, it would be an open ticket. And we just go and create it. And so once we've created the ticket, we can check to see that our ticket has been created by going to the status view under tickets. And there it is. We can see when each of these tickets was created, and we can see other things about them, like whether they're open or closed or whatever. Nobody's closed a ticket yet. In a later exercise, you are going to have to close a ticket. So at the moment, you're just opening tickets. Now, this might actually seem familiar to you. It should, because we basically did almost the same exercise when we were doing CR 1260. So yeah, it's missing file. That was what it was about. So this person has done that. I don't know who this was, but it seems to be, man has lost an important file, the file, blah, blah. She'd like a backup. So that's the kind of thing you need to do. And then later on, we'll get you to open them and manipulate them a bit. So there's a lot of information comes up with that ticket. This one here has been set a priority of 4, and it's locked. It's locked. That means that only the agent who owns the ticket can make changes to it. That's kind of cool. Yeah. And we can see who the customer is that that service is being done for. So I hope that is not too difficult for you to do. Again, just to repeat the steps, make sure that you have a customer that you can work with. If you don't, you can create a customer using the customer admin. You can add and or you can use one of the agents as a customer. You would probably have to create a customer user using the customer user administration, and so that they fall in this list here. Once we've got them in there, then we can go to our tickets and create the type of ticket that we want, which is a phone ticket. Go ahead, create the new phone ticket, put the details in as required, and then save that, and then check that it's happened by going to the status view. And in the status view, we can see all of our tickets there. Okay, so I hope that is clear enough. That is what I want you to do. Student, that other person. Yes, you may reuse a student. So if you want to use one of these ones in this list that somebody else has already done, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it's up to you. So I mean, if everybody did a ticket for Aisha Upman, it wouldn't bother me. You get the idea. It's just that I want you to create the ticket. So there's a bunch of other stuff that you need to do on that lab besides creating the ticket. Um, so let me just put this down so we can see. If you look at that lab, so it's in the content. You can view the lab there. So you were supposed to open the thing, create the ticket. There's actually some text. You could have just copied that and edited it, right, and stuck it into the ticket, right? Now, notice that I told you you can set the priority. There's a pending day that I showed you where those were, and then create that ticket. Then you're supposed to go and change the priority to high. So it started out as 3. You got to go back and change it to high. In order to change the ticket, you'll have to go to the status view. So once you've got your ticket in there, you can edit it by going into the status view, find your ticket, right? And then you can sort of edit that ticket if you own it, right? So there's things you can do. You can change the priority, right? So when you click on that, then you're in a place where you can start editing the ticket. Okay, so you do need to save the ticket and then edit the ticket. As I said, so get in there and then click one of these things and you'll be able to edit it. What else you got to do in there? Open tickets, change the priority, show the instructor. Well, what you're going to do is you're going to do some screenshots of your work. Then the rest of this stuff, so that's all you have to do with the ticket. Then the rest of this stuff is you got to answer some questions. So you should edit this document and put your answers in here. So you should explain what is an agent. When I ask you what is an agent here, I mean in the context of a service desk. What is an agent? So for example, in what I've just been doing with you here, I've been acting like an agent when I created that ticket. But there are definitions for agent, and you can use a dictionary definition for an agent. I'll warn you about that because the dictionary definition for an agent is going to be a very general definition, but it does work pretty good. It's something about somebody who's authorized to work on behalf of blah blah blah. What is a ticket? Again, probably Google will help you sort of get there, but just a little hint. A ticket is uniquely identified by a ticket number, and a ticket is used by your service management system, by your incident management system, to track all of the interactions on a particular incident. And you can write some other stuff about that. I'm not going to answer all of these, but what system, such as why do you suppose they're necessary? And hopefully some of the stuff we talked about in the previous 2 lessons will come to your mind in helping you to answer that. Why would we use an incident management system? So you reflect on ITIL. What does ITIL say about incident management? Reflect about ITSM and any of the other stuff that we talked about there. What is ownership? Uh-huh. So I don't know if you noticed in that ticket that it said something about the ticket being locked, and I mentioned to you that the locked ticket, um, only the person that had ownership of the ticket could open it. Okay, that's part of ownership. It's not the only part of ownership, and there's a little bit more to do with ownership. Even if you opened the ticket up so that everybody in the service desk, everybody in a group, you could assign the ticket to a group, so that everybody in the group had access to it. Still, one person would have to have ownership for it, and then there would be some responsibility associated with their ownership. So think about that. What is the responsibility that a person who has ownership has? 5 stages incident management process. Well, I guess you're just going to have to find that somewhere. 5 stages. So actually, if the big hint for that is look at the ticket. What do we do with the ticket? And so I'll give you a hint. We start by creating the ticket, and then there's some other things that we would do. Maybe you could saw some things that we did while we were there with the ticket. And that's it. That's the exercise that you have to do. Hopefully that is not going to scare you. So let's make this do like a week from now, maybe. How's that sound? So you can work on it then. I don't mind you helping each other out as long as you don't copy everything one from another. Sir, is it okay if I take some answers from the internet? Absolutely, as long as you paraphrase. And I think what you mean by resourcing is explaining where you got it from. Referencing? Yeah, absolutely. You could do that. That's a good way to work. No problem at all. Selected students, another person. Yeah, so all of those are no problem at all. Um,